All right. Hey again, everyone. So if you didn't catch it earlier, my name is Erik Manzano. I'm a third-year Urban Studies major, and I'm Fusion's current treasurer. And I'm rerunning for this position. Some of you may be thinking, why is he running for this position again when he's already done it? Short and simple answer, I've had a fun time doing it, and I really don't mind doing it again. But before I can at least attempt to do this again, I need your guys' approval first. A year ago when I played for treasurer last year, I told you all I didn't have any prior experience, but obviously now I have a whole lot of experience. Why would I be fit for the position of treasurer? Several reasons. Biggest reason is I already have experience not only as a treasurer, but also as a Fusion board member. I know the position very well and how much it can affect Fusion overall in general. And I also know the position's connection to the club and how important it is to maintain its well-being. So rather than learning what it takes to start things off and get things going, I can instead skip that initial step and just I'm sorry, you guys. Skip this step, and since I'm aware of what needs to be done. Another reason is because I'm an effective leader when it comes to the many aspects of the treasurer position. Like, for example, as a treasurer, you have to not only facilitate the fundraisers, but maintain their efficiency and basically make sure that everything is going according to plan. Then third reason is I feel like I've done more than an adequate job as treasurer. And I feel that I've exceeded the expectations that some have bestowed upon me and have proven to be an effective treasurer for this club. Now, I'm not saying that all the things I've done this year have been perfect. I've made mistakes, and there were certain things that I didn't uphold to that I told you guys from last year. Like, for example, I said that I expand fundraisers both on and off campus. I didn't do that. Most of the fundraisers were bacon-wrapped hot dogs and boba, and we've only had like one off-campus fundraiser for this entire year. And I'm fully aware of that, like all the things that I haven't been able to do, but I can improve on this. And with your guys' approval, I would be able to work towards improving not only myself, but the treasurer position as well as the club. So in the end, I really hope I can dish out a far more successful year than what I've already done for this year. Thank you, guys. Go ahead, Sydney.
So I know this year that there was some slight issues with getting people to call time and like pick up the stuff and then bring it back to the ESL room. So how do you, if you are the treasurer again, how do you plan on improving that? So
basically, a lot of it, honestly, I put up with it. There was a lot of people that didn't come to call time or didn't come to call time, and they didn't give me specific reasons, even though I posted earlier saying that like, if you have any reason not to go, let me know, and they didn't. So what I would change, or what I would do for next year is, I would basically tell them, if like, set it firm. If you don't give me a reason, then if you don't give me a reason, then I really expect you to be there. And if they don't, then I'm gonna have to talk with them, because I need as many people. I feel like for fundraisers, you need as many people as you can in order, or you can get in order to maintain the efficiency of the fundraiser. So we can be in and out, get what we need done, and be on our way for the rest of the day. Carlos?
I just wanted to make sure, so you're both president and treasurer. If you happen to win let's say hypothetically both, which one would you choose, just to make sure?
Right now, I am still focused on president, honestly, because that is what I've seen me seen me going for throughout the entire year. And honestly, I want to be on board next year. So this is the reason why I'm running for treasurer. I've done a very good job as treasurer, and I feel like even if I don't get president, I would most likely get the treasurer position again.
So both presidents expressed a great interest, or presidential candidates expressed a great interest in having a large-scale event for 15th anniversary. And that would require a lot of money, and these kind of events usually make clubs broke. but they do it because, you know, it's important to celebrate, you know, the history of this club, and that's why they do it every 5 years, even if it comes at a financial risk. So how would you plan on, you know, approaching this large-scale event coming into the year?
Technically, I've already started. Like I said earlier in my presidential part, even though it was an answer to a question, I still said it. My goal is to try to get $800 for next year's board to start off. And I do realize that 800 is not going to cover all of that. Plus, we need money to start off, just getting the year started and all. So what I would do is I would look for alternatives for fundraising. For example, FASAI, I've attended several of their meetings, and they've had a fundraiser where it was just a simple like a poker day at someone's house, and they were able to raise $1,500. That's a lot. And they also suggested that we do a collab fundraiser event. And if we're able to fundraise that much money, both as a collaborative thing, then a good portion of it would go to the club. So I would look into that. But it really depends on how much projected we would have to spend on this big event.
All right, thank you, Erik.
Hi everyone, my name is Adrian Cabornida, and I'm a second-year biomedical engineering major, and I'm also this year's Fusion's activities coordinator. And I'm applying for treasurer for next year. So next year is going to be my third year engineering. Going to be pretty hard, but I'm looking forward to being treasurer if you vote me on, which would be great. So what do I want to do with treasurer, and what have I seen about treasurer so far from being on board this year? First, I know Erik's not here, don't tell him, but he does a really good job, and it's really nice to watch him work. It's nice to see him at board meetings, always be prepared, and like have itinerary after itinerary of what our funds are and what he's planning to do in the next quarter. And I want to kind of carry that over into the next year, carry on the mantle that he has left me, or will leave me if I get voted. But yeah, it's nice to see that I have such an easy job of improving, because there's no improvement that I can see. If I wanted to improve, and if I wanted to, and there's only one thing that I would like to improve on, it's probably attendance at fundraisers. And one way that I would like to do, make an improvement, is to invest in certain key materials, like a trolley that we can put all this stuff in, so we don't have to carry it by hand. I know, Hillary, you've suggested this, and I will make it happen, so vote for me. So yes, so a trolley, one, that would be great. Another thing, one thing I would like to try to do is, like, I realized that sometime for the winter retreat, we didn't really make a profit, which is a good thing, and I would like to repeat that trend. Fusion is for the members, and reducing costs for things like winter retreat is something I would look forward to. So hopefully with better planning and more appropriation of funds, we can reduce prices for general members for things like that, for things like winter retreat, and as well as inject money into improving Fusion events, such as increasing food budget prices so that we can get something more than pizza and spaghetti. Even though it's pretty good, we would like something maybe more, right? So part of that is working with my fellow board members. So understanding that planning an event isn't just something that is up to the activities coordinator. I can give them a budget, but it's not the same as working with them and figuring out where to appropriate funds. So hopefully that's good enough for you. Please vote for me. Oh yeah. Any questions, please? Yes, Sandra.
You're saying how,
Oh.
you're saying how there's not much food required. Then how do you ensure that you won't,
Slack off?
go to the opposite?
I don't know. we'll see.
That's not an answer.
Oh, I'm just kidding. My experience on current board right now has been really enlightening. It's a lot more work than I thought it would be. Excuse me. But how do I make sure I don't slack off? A lot of calendar work, making every minute count. Yes. Does that answer your question? Okay. Any other questions? Don.
Okay, so since you were activities coordinator
Yeah.
for this year, what was one thing that you've taken from it, and how do you think that one trait would be able to improve? Be useful for a treasurer?
So I saw myself and Erik as kind of opposites on board. He was always on top of things, and I was kind of not on top of things. I was always doing stuff last minute, and that's not something that you do, right? That's not something you're supposed to do. And I think I realized my mistakes. However, even though I did things a few last minute, I think I did an okay job. So bringing the experience I had from this year, which was like having the shame of being the lessee, would be enough to drive me forward and make me a better treasurer this year. Any other questions? Elizabeth was first.
So you said that you want to lower costs for a lot of things, but those like events that you want to lower costs bring in income for the club. So how do you plan on balancing like lowering costs for club members while also not going in the red?
Well, I think most of our income comes from our freaking awesome fundraisers, which are bacon wrapped hot dogs, 1 for 2, 2 for 3, and a water. So you're saying that we make profit from the winter retreat and other events, but I don't think that's what's happening. I think that we don't make profit from those things. Our main profit comes from was that not your question? Potential profit.
Like you could make some.
I don't know. I don't want to use our members for profit. I know it seems like a nice idea, but I think it's up to board in order to make money. And I think we have a good way to make money through bacon wrapped hot dog fundraisers. So I don't think it would be a good idea to put it on the board, to put it on general members to make money for events that are for them anyways. Any other questions? Sandra? Or Joe, do you want to?
It was brought up previously, but it's 15 next year.
I thought it was this year. Was it not this year?
We're celebrating next year.
Oh, okay.
Right? With your plans of decreasing costs, that brings up the idea that we're not going to make as much money. And also, what other fundraisers if you have any planned besides bacon wrapped hot dogs, because and how do you feel like you would like to prepare for it?
So when I meant decreased costs, I meant specifically in areas where we stand to make a profit from general members. So when I say decreased costs, I meant like winter retreats specifically. So we don't really make a big profit from that anyways, if we ask for more from members. So I think that we would make, in order to make more money for those things, like to make a good 15th birthday party for Fusion, we just have to have maybe 1 or 2 more bacon wrapped hot dog fundraisers, which net in about $200 each. So one party, $400. $400 for a party. Yeah, ballin'.
Hi, I'm Stephanie, and I'm a first-year BME major. I first came out to Fusion because of Erik, and I'm really glad that he did, because you guys are really like outgoing and really open to everyone who comes in, and I'm glad I found like a home I can go to. And I really want to be part of board because I want to make an impact in Fusion and also leave my mark in this club, because I really see the potential it has with everyone. In addition, I want to be treasurer because I've had experience in the past. I was treasurer for 3 clubs back in high school, and I really liked fundraising and helping the memories we made through fundraising, and I really like money in addition. Yeah, okay. And then my goals throughout Fusion is to 2 things, is to raise enough money for, first of all, I want to be able to make enough money for like events to go out, because sometimes the events we go to, like maybe ice skating and stuff, sometimes money's really tight. So I want to be able to like deduce the cost of the prices of the things we do, so it's easier, because I know money is really tight for me personally, so that's why I don't go out sometimes, to help that. And also in addition, as engineers, I feel like we need to utilize our skills and have more practice, so I want to raise more funds to make more projects for us to use, like for Engineers Without Borders, to help the society. So we also like to make projects for people out there in the world, and also to use our skills, because that's what we're here for as engineers. And so hopefully you vote for me for treasurer. Yeah. Oh my God.
Questions?
Yes, mentor.
So other than baking around hot dogs, what other ideas do you have for fundraising?
Well, I usually do, for fundraisers we've done, but in the past we've done funnel cakes, which really sold well. In addition, like there's also like Kaba did the popcorn, so we can do like little fundraisers like that, and maybe like sell stuff that we make as engineers and stuff, like with SolidWorks. Yeah.
So when winter retreat starts up, there's usually not enough Fusion funds to cover the cost for the cabin. So how would you handle the situation?
I would plan ahead to make sure that we like how much we're gonna spend like ahead of time, so like we'll have enough funds. So I'll keep fundraising and find other ways to match the cost.
Any other questions?
You said you want to like help other organizations with projects by like helping fund those projects. I guess how would you allocate funds for projects that go towards other organizations or other parts of the world?
How would I
That you
fund?
mentioned with Engineers Without Borders.
How would I fund?
Yeah.
Help?
How would you like allocate funds for this project?
I still don't know how much money we would be making or how we would do it though. I'm still thinking.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie.
Okay.
Yo.
Okay, so you're almost guaranteed to run into this problem. I'm gonna offer you 2 hypothetical situations. The first one is someone is not paying you what they need to pay you. You don't know the reason. The second one is they're not paying you because they think they can get away with it. How would you handle both of those situations?
I would write their name down so I don't forget, and then write down how much they owe me, and then text them, and then message them, and then call them, and then leave a message, and then if they don't respond, then find out their schedule and find them in class, and that's that.
Okay.
I'll just be really persistent with them to make sure that they pay, and to befriend them, but not like stalk them in a way, but just to like make sure that they pay and like tell them why and what they're paying for and what the cost is going towards instead. Yeah.
I'm assuming this is like a payment for like a general member, like paying you for membership or something.
Yeah, I would say like they didn't pay you for like a retreat or.
Okay. Well, yeah. Honestly, just be persistent. Be pestering them on a weekly basis. Like, oh, hey, you have that $20 that you need to pay me for the retreat, and just continue to be on them. And once they pay, then the transaction is done.
Next question. Eduardo.
So obviously as treasurer, your main objective is to make money for the club. Besides that, what can you as a treasurer help improve on the club?
Besides making money?
Besides making money.
Well, maybe working with board members so that when they plan an event, we can get a better idea of the budget. As in, like, rather than just giving them a budget and then letting them decide, maybe make it more flexible for them, so that if costs incur, then we can adjust the budget accordingly. Or if like there's more, or as treasurer, I know a more efficient way to do what they're doing, then make it so that they don't spend as much money. So that's one way.
My organizational skills, and also like if another board member is incapable of doing a task because of like schoolwork or like something came up, I'll help them like with their tasks that they need to get done. In addition, I can also make the club more closer by being more social and outgoing, and hopefully make Fusion a better place.
One thing that that the treasurer brings, not only just for raising money, is ability to like facilitate events, get people together to help out and stuff like that. So it's like, say for example, if the activities coordinator needs something done, or the IVP has a particular event, then the treasurer can step in, because since they pretty much find out who is needed or who is available to help out during these certain times, this can be applied to, like what I said earlier, these events. And yeah.
Chico.
I already asked Stephanie this question during her platform. I want to hear your guys' input on this idea. What other plans for fundraising do you have outside of bacon wrapped hot dogs?
In my experience, we have tried, or like for many platforms, for at least 2 years now. They've brought up fundraising outside of bacon wrapped hot dogs, but it never really materialized for several reasons. One, this year we wanted to have a spaghetti fundraiser. However, there was a specific rule that defined when the meat should be cooked, so we had to scrap that. So in terms of what fundraisers other than bacon wrapped hot dogs I have lined up, not really much. And also, I don't want to steal any of the other orgs' fundraisers. For example, Tyrone from Alianza and Nachos from Kaba and Spam Masubi from Puso. So I don't really have any other fundraising methods lined up.
She doesn't answer that, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, Adrian did bring up a good point. I wanted to try Filipino spaghetti, but honestly, they shot me down because of the meat preparation. But like I said earlier, for those of you who remember from last year, I did have some ideas. They don't necessarily pertain to just on campus. They can also be off campus fundraisers, but just strictly for on campus. One type of food that I did bring up to my board, but I didn't necessarily follow up with it, was there's not a specific name for it, but pandesal with spam and egg. Like, board members, you've tried that and it was pretty good. So hopefully, if I'm able to, then I can probably try to apply that and follow up with using that as a fundraising method for next year.
Andrew?
So I know everyone brings it up all the time, I'm just gonna bring it up again to you guys. So like, obviously 15th anniversary next year, right? The reason why we don't touch bacon wrapped hot dogs, we don't do alternatives, is because bacon wrapped hot dogs reels in the most money. And so you have to get money from elsewhere, because you're already getting the maximized profit from bacon wrapped hot dogs. So would you do things like maybe raise Fusion Retreat, raise membership fees, do these extra things that affect general members to ensure that you can afford something like a 15th anniversary?
I'll go first.
Like, would they do that?
Or would they do that?
If needed, yeah, I would have to raise up the, for example, the the fee for winter retreat. But also, first, I would like to see other alternatives first. Like, I know that ESC has a funding board. There's a funding board from the Student Center. And there's also what Fusion can do. We can do off-campus fundraisers, more off-campus fundraisers, more bacon-wrapped hot dogs fundraisers. Because, yeah, you bring up a really good point. If you guys don't know, bacon-wrapped hot dogs really does bring in the most profit, more than boba and more than like all of the other ones that Fusion has tried within the years. So if needed, then I would have to take into account increasing the fees for events that Fusion holds every year.
I agree that I would raise the prices only to an extent that seems necessary. Like if it's too expensive that people won't start joining, then I wouldn't do it. But then I would also find other alternatives to help fund the situation.
I think I would work backwards from the party, as in find out the budget for the party first and then figure out where we would have to make money. So I already made my stand on how I don't want to impact general members pricing wise, and I think the best way and the most efficient way in order to raise money would be to have more bacon wrapped hot dog fundraisers. Chico.
So we're always talking about how we want to celebrate the 15th anniversary or birthday or whatever of Fusion. So that means that we have 15 years worth of general membership, which means that we do have a lot of alumni that we can potentially contact for donations to help fund for ESC. Do you think this is a potential idea to help raise funds? And if so, how would you go about implementing this plan?
As a treasurer and as a board member from for Fusion this year, I know that the secretary has a lot of contacts from alumni, so I would have to work with the secretary or Elizabeth, because I don't know if she's doing secretary next year, but she has a lot of contacts with the alumni. So it is a valid idea. A lot of them are engineers, so make bank, which is nice. So I see it as a valid way to raise money, and the way I'd implement it is communicate with secretary and get contacts out there and ask them personally.
Wait, what was your question?
So, because we have 15 years of general membership of history that we can fall back on. We also have a lot of alumni who are already in their professional careers. So we could potentially fundraise from these alumni by contacting them and asking them for donations. If you think this is a valid idea, how would you go about doing so? And what do you think we can do to help raise funds in that way?
Yeah, I agree that sounds like a good idea. I would contact them. In addition, I also tell them to bring back to the community that they came from the roots, to help support us and help us with the connections as well.
Okay. Yeah, Adrian really does bring up good points to encourage alumni to donate for the club that they used to be a part of. And yeah, since secretary is in charge of maintaining alumni relations, both the treasurer and secretary would be working hand in hand in order to get that going. And also, just being a Fusion, either general member or board member, just in general, you also have built friendships with the individuals who are graduating either the year before or this year. So not only that, but you can also ask them for a potential donation as well. And not only ask them for a donation, but also invite them to the events that we hold to show them this is the money you gave us and this is what we're putting it into.
One more question. Yeah.
Danny? Daniel?
Oh, all right. Make this quick, please. Hypothetical situation. Imagine if UCI made it illegal to sell boba $2 and up. Now, fundraisers aren't just about profit, they're also about time and effort and organization. What's the absolute lowest price you would sell boba at?
Oh my God, it's like
Given
AP
these
econ.
circumstances.
So
Keep in
$2.
mind that other orgs will also be lowering their prices, and the boba economy of UCI will be ruined.
$2 or higher, right?
Yeah, you can't sell it at $2 or higher. What's the absolute lowest you can go, knowing you're competing with everyone
Well,
else?
I feel like a lot of clubs would just go $1.99. That's lower.
Yeah, I was gonna say $1.99.
But, I mean, it really depends, because if that is a new stipulation that they're adding to a new year, then you're obviously going to see clubs testing things out. So, and honestly, I've never heard that question before. So, just thinking right now, we wouldn't have an exact price to start off with. We're going to have to trial and error this and see which ones work. So I guess I would start off with is $1.80, and then we'll go from there. If we can increase it, then okay. If we have to decrease it in order to stay competitive with the other clubs, then that's what's gonna have to be done.
This is an AP Econ question. Okay, I would look at the cost of all the other clubs as well and see like where the supply and demand costs to find the optimal price to sell it at. And also like I wouldn't make it too low that we're losing profit, but I'll also try to make sure that we make enough money because I know it's competitive around Ring Road. Yeah.
So if I could imagine that happening, then we'd have to have a lot more coins. So I would figure out who made that rule, and then we'd start a petition and like get all the other orgs wondering like, why are you making us carry around pennies for $2.99 boba? Like, it doesn't really make sense either from our part or probably from theirs. So I would make a petition.
Okay.